I want to start out with this because there's a fine noodle establishment next door here of the Vietnamese variety, and this was my fortune today when I pulled it out of the cook. He said, "Today will be lucky and memorable for you." So, very cool that I got to hang out with you guys today. You got beaten up by the Black Keys. Congratulations! And I think these are today's lotto numbers on there. So
awesome.
Incredible to be down here with you guys, and got a chance to listen to the record. And when I'm listening to the tracks on the new album, it says Plymouth Voyager on a bunch of on every tag. Now I know that didn't end up becoming the name of the new album. The new album will be calling El Camino, and we're going to get a chance to talk about the new record. But it's pretty amazing that it came back full circle when you guys were thinking about this to the '94 Plymouth Voyager. I'm assuming the original tour vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And is that going to be the cover?
Yeah, I mean, we were never considering the title Plymouth Voyager, but it is there is a Plymouth Voyager on the cover of the album. Yeah.
Did it feel like going back to the very beginnings? Were you thinking about that?
No, we weren't trying to go back in time or anything.
No.
But it did feel like we were stripping things down, and it was reminiscent of, maybe. But
Right.
It's not like we were intentionally trying to make it sound like one of our older records or something like that.
For a lot of artists, records can be a snapshot in time, and it's strange as fans because we only sort of see what comes out the other side. I wonder when you guys think back, and I'm not going to ask you to go back through the whole lineage of your music, but when you think back, in Attack and Release or Brothers, do those records stand out as snapshots that immediately come to mind for you?
I mean,
what it was like?
Every record, when we listen to, any record that we've made, I think it reminds us both of whatever was going on, at that particular moment. And I think going into making El Camino, we kind of had our biggest, most successful year ever, and we were approaching like the 10-year anniversary of our first show. So it was kind of on our minds, just like that. We set out, on this like adventure to see what would happen, and it's kind of exceeded our like wildest expectations, but yet, we're continuing to just see what happens and where it takes us, and I think that's kind of, where our heads were at, and that's why we chose the name we chose, and that's like, why we decided to like kind of, I think that the first like putting that the Plymouth Grand Voyager on the cover of the album, kind of,
that's who we are.
Yeah.
That van. Kind of like not really fashionable.
Yeah.
Not always dependable. But
we
it's
get
there.
the job done.
You get the job done eventually. And eventually it gets there.
Yeah.
The first show you referenced was March of 2002. Do you even remember what the first show was like for the Black Keys, and where was it? Set the scene.
It was at the Beachland Tavern in Cleveland, Ohio, and I think we had like a half-hour set, and we played it in like 15 minutes because we played everything so fast.
We were
so nervous. I just kind of blacked out.
Yeah.
And I just remember getting off stage and running to the backstage room, like sort of out of breath, like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
We made it.
Did we suck?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, seriously, at that point, I don't think.
And then we got another gig out of it. They said,
Yeah.
"You want to come back and open this other show?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." We got paid
$10
for the first show,
and
and then the second show we got paid $0.
Why zero on the second one?
Because they didn't make any money.
Oh, no.
It was a Monday night, no one showed up, and yeah, I mean the first show was we went on first to 4 bands, and like maybe 10 of our friends showed up, and like
That's awesome. They paid us $10, and we were just like, sweet.
Yeah, I mean it was like oh yeah, like this could be lucrative.
Did you have any concept that all the time you spent on the road, and you've put in more time on the road than most bands, I would say, did you ever have any concept that this is what it would look like, or this is what it would feel like at this point?
We just kept going. Like, every time we would go out on the road, we'd get another opportunity, and then from that opportunity, something else would come up, We toured, Sleater-Kinney saw us, had us open. We toured Sleater-Kinney, then Beck saw us and had us open, and then we got a little notoriety from that, and then Radiohead had us open, and it's like we're just circling the U.S. and flying over this ocean, you know, playing shows, and it's like it sort of hasn't stopped in 10 years.
Really?
It's like we've like, yeah, I think we've accomplished, you know, obviously way more than we ever imagined, and it, you know, it's brought us to this room doing an interview in this studio with this impressive looking mixing desk, and we've never ever even recorded a song on anything that resembles this, just for the record.
Just for the record.
Yeah.
So to set the scene, we're staring at a giant board with
Like
almost
this,
100
seriously.
channels. None of us could operate.
Studio's
Maybe
super
Dan could
nice.
operate.
We've never recorded
Yeah.
in a place this nice.
Yeah.
Your first show, November 3rd, 1994, unless you were lying when you said it. November 3rd, 1994,
Yeah.
you go to Cleveland, Ohio to go see Dinosaur Jr.
Dinosaur Jr.
And Dan, I was wondering what your first show was from your memory.
My very first show was, I went with my mom to see Whitney Houston at Blossom Music Center. And then my second show was with my dad, and I saw the Grateful Dead at the Richfield Coliseum.
Wow. So much has been said about in the past about the influences for the band. I was most excited when I first became a fan of the band to see that hip-hop had figured so prominently in what you were into over the years. What were those sort of foundational hip-hop records for you that got you both listening to it? And were you both listening to hip-hop at the same time when you were in high school?
Yeah, I was mostly just listening to certain Wu-Tang records, mainly like a couple old Dirty Bastard records and stuff like that. Dan was listening to more hip hop than I was.
You know, when I started, it was like there was songs that were popular, like Ghetto Boys, My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me.
Yeah.
That was really popular. It always got played at dances, and like Rex and Effect. All I want to do is zoom a zoom 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 and a boom boom. And so there were those songs like in middle school I would listen to. Like, and I got that DJ Quick first record. I used to listen to that.
Yeah.
Wore that out. But I think the thing that we connected on most was Wu-Tang. Was RZA production, which was like a whole different artistic level in hip hop.